Good evening, good afternoon, or good morning, ladies and gentlemen. UG here once again, and we are back for the NFL. This time, of course, we're here for week number 4, baby. That's right, we have made it through the first few weeks of the NFL season. Of course, I am not alone, as of course you will probably hear Vibrator from time to time as he is shooting people on Far Cry 5 because they do not believe in the good Lord of killing people. If you played Far Cry 5, you get the joke. Of course, we do also have my 49ers friend, Mr. Dave.
What up?
Hope everyone had a good past weekends, had a good few days, and all that good stuff. Dave, how was your weekend? Because I know you were happy the Niners demolished the fucking...
Well, I had a good weekend. Besides, got drunk and broke my glasses, so...
Well, just do what the Dudley boys do. Duct tape. That fixes everything.
Yeah, I'm doing that, but I ordered new glasses, so better than nothing.
That is true. And I know Vibrator had a good weekend because his Chicago Bears came back and beat the Falcons, which we're going to discuss that because, oh boy. I have a song particularly saved for that one when we do the recap. Well, since it is time for the recap, I'm just getting this shared real quick on the social media things and all that good stuff. So if everybody wants to, type in the comments section who they're picking or answer the question of the video, which the question of the video is this: who is the most surprising team right now in your eyes unbeaten, and who is the most disappointing team right now in the NFL? I know it's early in the season, but we've seen a lot of good teams, we've seen some mediocre teams, and we've seen some teams who you're asking how the hell are they playing in the National Football League.
Yo, can I answer one?
You can answer.
I got to say the Chicago Bears. They're the imposters among us. They're the imposters.
I have seen a lot of people say that, particularly because of how they did beat Atlanta with Nick after Davinsky was benched and Nick Foles goes in, and Nick Foles proves once again why I think he should be a starting at least he should be valued as what he is, a great quarterback who can win you a game when it needs, and he's won a Super Bowl. I got to give the guy props on that. And we'll talk about the Bears-Travinsky situation because it was announced a few days ago what they're doing. But who's your most disappointing team this early in the season?
The Falcons. How the hell are you gonna score more and then lose? That's like I don't know. I don't know. That's a dumb move. Not
once, but twice, and then we'll be discussing that as well.
They all need to get fired. They all need to get fired. New staff and new owners. Start all over, but we know how they are.
And we're going to discuss that in a few minutes, but I will say this. If they do it again, oh boy, at this point I think one of us could be the head coach before the season's over, and that's pretty bad. But let's give a quick recap to last week. Of course, on Thursday night, the Jaguars found out you should believe in magic, the magic of Ryan Fitzpatrick, as the Dolphins beat the Jaguars. The 49ers banged up and all that. The Giants still couldn't do anything about it, as the Giants didn't do shit. Niners got the W. Steelers beat the Texans in what was a highly good competitive matchup. The Bengals and Eagles decided, we don't want any winners, we want participation trophies, and tied. The Patriots beat the Raiders in what was another good matchup. Titans barely got by the Vikings, but there's been some issues with both teams. We'll discuss that later. Browns easily beat the Washington. Bills beat the Rams in what was a beautiful comeback, and I'm going to discuss this and tell everyone where everyone needs to shut up about that controversial call. Bears, well, Atlanta Falcons, this is for you. Oops, we did it again. We played with the fans' hearts. We lost the game. Oh, baby, baby, we can't hold on to a lead. Please don't watch us get raped on Monday by the Packers. Bears did come back and made Falcons act like Britney Spears as they did it again, blowing a lead. Panthers beat the Bolts. Colts demolished the Jets. Cardinals lost to the Lions, giving the Lions the first win of the year. Cowboys tried to make a comeback. Unfortunately, this time it fell short to the Seahawks. Buccaneers easily defeated South Park. Well, no, not South Park. The Broncos. We'll discuss that in a minute. Packers easily beat the Saints. And on Monday night, the Ravens forgot what offense was as Kansas City beat the hell out of them. So I went 10-5-1 this past week. And for the season, I am 33-14-1. So just as a quick things I want to discuss before I get to the notes, and I'm going to give mine awards as well. The best quarterback of week 3 is actually a tie. I had a hard time choosing, but I'm going to give it to two quarterbacks. Ryan Fitzpatrick, because he did do something that I don't think will ever be broken in the NFL history book. And I also got to give it to the Chicago Bears quarterback Nick Foles for coming off the bench and winning against Atlanta. Yes, I know Atlanta did what they always do and choke in the fourth quarter, but it's still an accomplishment that you were able to come off the bench and get 3 touchdowns. Worst quarterback of the week. I almost gave it to Jackson of Baltimore because he did nothing in that game Monday. He ran a lot, but he couldn't pass to save his life. But I have to go with Tavinsky of Chicago because he was the only quarterback who was benched this week. I have to give the worst one to the guy who was benched. If he wasn't benched, I probably would have given it to Jackson of Baltimore. So Baltimore, you got lucky. Best team of week number 3. This was a hard one because there was so many good teams. So personally, hard pick for me. But I'm going to give it to Cleveland, who really didn't let Washington come back at all, and probably Buffalo would be a close second because they were able to show that they could come back. Worst team of week 3? Well, is it obvious? It's Atlanta again. I don't think you can defend Atlanta at this point. If somebody's going to defend Atlanta, please try. I would love to see it. I know somebody's going to say, well, the Jets were terrible, the Giants were terrible. We knew the Jets and Giants were going to be terrible when the season started. Atlanta has no excuse. You up in the last 2 games, up big, and you blew it. Sorry. And the MVP of this week, I'm going with the Titans kicker because he won them the game going 6 for 6 on 3-point kicks. So congratulations to all the winners and losers there. Overall, the best game to me of this past week, I am going to give it to the Bills and Rams, as if that was a high competitive game, came down to the wire, with probably Dallas and Seattle in second. Worst game of this week. Dave, I have to give it to your 49ers just because, well, that game was over at halftime. Yeah. Giants really didn't show up. Sorry about that. So congratulations to the best and worst of this past week. Getting to the notes now. As you know, here we do notes. We do believe in giving you all the information we can here on the Doug Barrett Network. So first thing first. The Pac-12 will be playing a 7-game college football season beginning November 6th. So if your college team is in the Pac-12, you do get to see some football this year. It was also announced that other conferences are coming back and they'll be playing in October or November as well. So if your conference ain't playing yet, they will probably be in the next few weeks. It was also announced that, hey, the committee's not going to be looking at the win-loss record this year because so many teams are going to have a different win-loss because they're not going to have a long season or something like that. So, should be interesting. Also note, speaking of Thursday night, as I already hinted at it, Fitzpatrick on Thursday night this past week became the first player since at least 1950 to record at least one victory for 6 different teams against a single opponent, according to LS Sports Bureau. It was an accomplishment only Fitzpatrick could achieve. After leading the visiting Miami Dolphins to a 31-13 victory at TIAA Bank Field, the road-traveled quarterback has now defeated the Jaguars as a member of the Dolphins, the Bengals, the Bills, the Titans, the Texans, and the Jets. That is right. Ryan Fitzpatrick has made Jacksonville its bitch. Unfortunately, now going to a little bit of sad news, though. Jaguars linebacker Lean Jacobs tore his ACL during that game and is done for the rest of the season. Going to some 49ers news, head coach Kyle Shanahan said Jordan Reed could miss 6 to 8 weeks due to a knee sprain suffered Sunday with the victory over the G-Men of New York. Now to some comical news. Over the last 20 seasons, no team has blown multiple 15-point fourth quarter leads in a single season. Till this past week, as the Falcons did it in back-to-back weeks. Week 2 against the Cowboys and Week 3 against the Bears. And we're going to get to Atlanta in a few minutes because we need to discuss them because something needs to change there. Jaguars have signed former Seahawks kicker Steven to the team's practice squad. Heading to Seattle, running back Chris Carson's first-degree sprained knee is considered a 1 to 2 week injury. Poor source, but the team wants to see how the Denver at New England game will be moved to 4:25 p.m. and that's on October 11th. Also, going back to Chicago, Nick Foles will start against the Indiana Colts this Sunday as announced by Matt N. Now, of course, before we get to the two big news, one more. Following Takir Cole's injury, the Bears are working out a group of running backs that includes veteran Lamar Miller. So we'll see what happens there. We'll probably hear some news tomorrow about who the Bears running back is going to be. But let's get to the big news. Sunday's game between the Steelers and the Titans, if you follow me on Twitter or Facebook, I did post this, has been postponed as of today. They're considering all options to reschedule Monday night as one of them. This will be based on test results, as we found out. Some of the Titans players did have the coronavirus, or the C virus as I like to call it, because I'm a Resident Evil buff. So yeah, now here's what makes this interesting. And the Steelers coach has already come out saying it's unfair to them a bit, and here's why. They play the Titans this weekend in Tennessee, but then they have to hit back on a plane to head back to Pittsburgh to play Philadelphia in Week 5. Now, so let's say hypothetically it's postponed till Tuesday, which could happen as well. There's been talks about that. If that happens, that means Steelers would then have to leave Tennessee probably Tuesday night going into Wednesday morning. They'll get back to Philadelphia Wednesday morning. Probably won't have practice that day because they'll all be tired. So they won't only have practice to play against Philly Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I think the Steelers are getting the most screwed out of this, personally. And I know a lot of Steelers people hate Pittsburgh and say, oh, it doesn't matter. To me personally, if they can't reschedule the game, and I'm going to get your opinion on this, Dave, and everyone else can answer this as well. If they can't reschedule the game, because they both have a different bye week, and I'll pull up the bye week for them in a minute. If they can't reschedule it, should Tennessee be forced to forfeit the match and give it to Pittsburgh, since Pittsburgh is not causing the issue, it's Tennessee?
I think so.
Okay.
That's not fair.
So we'll see what happens, though. It's probably going to get played Monday night, so we'll have 2 Monday night games most likely. Now, the reason I say they can't reschedule because of the bye, of course, if you don't know what a bye is, why the fuck are you watching football? But byes are pretty much mean that's when your team is off, and there's always at least 1 week they're off. Now, here's the problem. The Steelers' bye week is in Week 8. That's right after the Ravens game before they play my Cowboys. The Titans' bye week is in Week 7, 1 week before. So there was no way they could reschedule for the bye. Here's the other issue. Let's say, hypothetically, they say, okay, we'll play it after Week 17. You would then have all the other teams complaining, saying, okay, so those 2 teams get 2 byes effectively. That's not fair to the rest of us. So to me personally, I think they're going to either have to play it Monday or Tuesday at the latest, or B, Titans will probably have to forfeit. Those are the only real options I see. Now, Minnesota has not been rescheduled. They're still playing because apparently they didn't have any issues. So Viking fans, you're still playing, unfortunately, this Sunday. And this gives me to one other big thing before we get to the picks. NFL sent out a memo today saying if you are not going to start wearing the mask, because we already know they've been fining a few teams big money, and I mean big money, $250,000, big money. The NFL's already came out today saying if you do not start wearing the mask, you can not only face fines, but you could also face suspensions, and your team could lose draft picks. So keep that in mind if your team does get hit with a so your head coach gets suspended or you lose a draft pick. Just to keep that out there, okay? I just want to, me, I like to give out all the information. Any other information, Mr. Dave, before we continue that I have not been able to get yet today?
My 49ers, there's 2 returns coming back this week, hopefully. There's 2 returns coming back tonight, Sunday night football. Devo, Samuel, and George Kittle. Yeah. Alright, so if you have them on your fantasy team, please keep an eye on them as well.
So let's get to the games this weekend. First one, Thursday night game, a game that I'm actually looking forward to because this is the definition of a train wreck, if there ever was one. Sadly though, the Monday night's train wreck's going to be a hell of a lot fucking worse.
Well, I'm gonna say something else, Doug. If I say
Okay.
Michael Thomas returned to practice today too for the Saints.
All right. That could actually help New Orleans because they need him bad.
Yeah, yeah. But anyways, continue saying about your game.
No problem. Game one is a battle of teams without a win right now. It is the 0-3 Denver Broncos taking on the 0-3 Jets. The Jets are favored by half a point, which is very surprising. I think Denver should be favored. And by the way, I do want to give Broncos the Creativity Award for this past week, as they did have South Park characters in their stadium for the cardboard cutout, so that was actually hilarious. What's interesting here is, I gotta say this, I've watched most of the Broncos games. Yeah, they've lost, but they can been competitive in all of their losses. You know, most of the losses have been, you know, by a, you know, not getting enough points, or, you know, not being able to make the comeback, or just losing to better teams. And the reason I say that, yes, believe it or not, I'm actually looking up Denver's history for the last few games, because I'm insane. They lost to the Broncos. Broncos lost to the Bucks 28-10. Okay, that's terrible. But they did almost beat Tennessee, as they lost by 2 points, and they did lose to the Steelers, but they only lost by 5. So they've been in mostly close games. Jets, unfortunately, I don't think they know what the definition of football or close game is, as they have been obliterated, annihilated, made to look like pansies, to the point to where you have to ask yourself, is the New York Jets actually a football team, or are they a high score team? And here are the last 3 scores for the Jets. Lost to the Colts 36-7, lost to the Bills 27-17, got killed by the 49ers 31-13. I am taking the Denver Broncos here. I think the Broncos overall are the better team in this situation. I don't trust the Jets. And what's funny is, we will probably see the Jets head coach make it through the whole season before he gets fired. But I'm taking the Broncos on the road. Dave?
Oh man, I don't know. I'm gonna go upset. I'm gonna pick the Jets. The first one of the season.
You're going with the Jets in the upset. Alright. Up next, it is the Carolina Panthers at home against the Arizona Cardinals. Panthers getting their first win of the week this season this past week, and Arizona losing its first game to the Detroit Lions in what was kind of an upset. Arizona is currently favored by 3.5 points, and that game is on Fox at 1 p.m. Check your local listings. I'm going to take the Panthers here. To me personally, I thought the Cardinals, while they plus 2 wins were impressive, I'm not going to deny that. I just feel like, to be honest, I trust Teddy Bridgewater more, the veteran quarterback and all that. I will say what helps Arizona is the Panthers do not have a running game right now, with their running back being out. So I think if Cardinals concentrate on defensively, if they just make Teddy have to pass a lot, I think they will be able to win the game, because, you know, eventually they will get tired because they can't run the ball that great right now. But I'm taking Carolina. I think that first win's going to help them, get them back in the hunt. I am taking the Panthers at home.
I got the Panthers too.
Alright. Next up in my lock of the week, it is the Baltimore Ravens, coming off that disappointing loss on Monday night, going to play Washington, the team with no name, a.k.a. the Redskins, a.k.a. the horse with no name. You can make your own jokes here if you want, people. I'm going to keep doing it every week. Baltimore is favored right now by 12 points. That game is actually going to be on CBS at 1 o'clock. I'm taking Baltimore here. This is probably was the easiest pick for me personally on the schedule. Washington, since getting that fluke win over Philadelphia, has been a train wreck.
I got the Ravens too.
Alright. Now, of course, we already discussed this game. You know, it does say Sunday at 1 p.m. It is, right now, it's postponed, but we're going to talk about it anyway in case it does get played this week. It is the Steelers on the road against Tennessee. Even if the game gets played, Tennessee has not been allowed to do any practicing, you know, because everything's been shut down. Pittsburgh's at least been able to practice. So I think, me personally, I'm taking Pittsburgh here. I was going to take Pittsburgh anyway, just because I thought they had the better offense and better defense. But with everything that's going with Tennessee, I don't see Tennessee winning if they're not going to be able to get any practice, if at all. Pittsburgh wins.
I got the Titans.
Oh, you're going with the upset. You're going with because right now we don't know who would be favored because it's postponed, but
Yeah.
most likely I would say Pittsburgh. Mostly because, like I said, the Titans have not been able to do any practicing right now. That
Yep.
could hurt
But
them.
anything's possible though.
True, but I don't know if they're gonna, since they haven't been able to do any game planning, no studying the film. I don't know if Titans will be able to do anything. This might just be them like, yeah, we're just gonna try our best, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Up next, it is the Chargers against the Buccaneers. That game is at 1 o'clock. Tampa Bay is favored by 7 points. Chargers got their first win not too long ago. Buccaneers are 2-1. I'm taking Tampa Bay. I'm sorry. Ever since that Week 1 loss, they've been doing well. And like I told everyone, and no one wanted to listen to me. I said in Week 1, Brady was going to have a rough time his first week because of no preseason. But I said they would eventually right the ship, and so far they have. I'm taking Tampa Bay at home. And I think Chargers will keep it close, but I also think what hurts San Diego. Why did I say San Diego? I meant to say Los Angeles. Sorry, I'm still used to saying San Diego, because as we know, they don't have the starting quarterback who got injured with the punctured lung and everything. I do think, unfortunately, though, with that being said, I don't think he's going to get a starting job back because his replacement has played well. So, but I'm taking the Buccaneers at home.
I got the Bucks too because look at the Bucks defense.
That as well. Moving on to Miami, as we're heading back to Ryan Fitzpatrick, as the Seahawks take on the Dolphins. The Seahawks are currently favored by 6.5 points. The question is, does Seattle recover a bit from last week against Dallas? And what I mean by that is, yes, they did beat Dallas, but I watched that game. Seattle defensively did not look good. I know you could say it's the injuries, but I'm sorry. Seattle's supposed to be one of the favorite teams. That should have been an easier victory for them instead of barely beating Dallas. It was like a 6-point win, so not exactly a. Well, no, it was more than that. It was less than 2 points. I think it was like
It was 38-31.
38-31. So they
Like
pretty much
that.
lost by won by a touchdown, pretty much.
Yeah.
You're playing a Dolphins team who, yes, just got off the first win, but because they got Ryan Fitzpatrick, there's always that magic that he will show up. I am taking Seattle here. You know, I'm honest, I'm not the most confident with it because of how that defense played and how with Ryan Fitzpatrick, you never know which one you're going to get. You're going to either get the one that's magical and shocks everybody and gets a big win, or you're going to get the one who sucks.
Exactly. I got Seahawks.
You got Seahawks as well. All
But
right.
you can't count on Russell Wilson. You can't get him, man. He can run. He should have been a running back. You know.
Yep. I know a lot of people want to know why is Russell Wilson not should be winning the MVP this year. To me personally, I think if he doesn't win it, it's just because there's other better quarterbacks out there. And I don't mean to be mean, but I'm sorry, Mahomes. To me personally, I'd vote for him right now. I would even vote for Jackson over Russell Wilson. And it's not because I don't like him. It's just because to me, those are more of a teams that have quarterbacks that are playing well. Sorry, just me. Next, the Colts at Chicago against the Bears. This was another hard game for me, and I'll explain why. And by the way, Indy is favored by 2.5 points. You got Phillip Rivers on the one side with Indianapolis, who's the old gunner, still getting it done though. And with Chicago, now the whole offense has changed because the Eagles MVP Super Bowl winner Nick Foles is now the starting quarterback. That has me a little concerned because it's either A, he's going to do what he did for Philly and get him to that promised land, get him to the playoffs, or B, we're going to see the Nick Foles of Jacksonville, who, to be perfectly honest, sucked. I do have to agree with Vegas. I think this is going to be a close game. I think it's going to probably be the best early game we get this in Week 1, the best 1 o'clock game we get. But I am taking the Colts on the road just because I can't trust Nick Foles enough. If it was Stravinsky, I probably would have gone with the Bears, but because it's Nick Foles, it's like with Ryan Fitzpatrick. You don't know which Nick Foles you're going to get. You're going to either get, like I said, the MVP Super Bowl winner, or you're going to get the guy who's proven to just why he's always been a backup and never a full starter from week 1.
I got the Bears.
All right, so Dave's disagreeing. So why do you got Chicago? You think Nick Foles pulls it off?
Yep.
I'll say this right now, Chicago. If Nick Foles does do the unthinkable and actually lead the team the whole way in this game and gets him the win from start of the game to end, I will be the first one to apologize to the man because then he would prove me wrong. If he does it, I will be the first one to admit I have to eat crow. But we'll see what happens. And I'll admit it. You have it on video. I will eat crow if he does it. But we'll see. Next, we head to WKRP Cincinnati. And if you get that reference, congratulations, you're old as fuck. As it is the Bengals at home against the Jaguars. Cincinnati is currently favored by 3 points. Jacksonville's 1-2. Bengals are 0-2-1. Bengals could have won that game, but the offenses wasn't really clicking. Jacksonville really disappointing as well this past week, but they've had more rest. And even though Bengals are at home and Bengals are favored, I'm still taking Cincinnati in the upset just because I'm sorry. Cincinnati hasn't won yet. Jacksonville's at least won a game. That, to me, Jacksonville should be favored. But I'm taking the Bengals here at home. They get their first win of the year.
Oh, I got the Jags I got Jags over Bengals.
Yeah, Jags over Bengals. You think Jaguars bounce back because Bengals don't know how to win? Pretty much, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Kind of figured that. Up next, my Cowboys at home against the Browns. This is a weird situation for Dallas because of the fact that even if they lose, they could probably still win the division. I know it's early, but that entire division's terrible. Philly doesn't look like they want to play football. They don't know how to win. Giants are so banged up right now, it's not even funny. And then you got Washington, who, let's be honest, does anyone really feel confident with Washington?
Nah.
So this is weird. To me personally, I don't like saying this too much. If there's any division that a team can win or lose, it's Dallas at this point. Because I'm sorry, if Dallas loses this division, I'm going to say this. I think Dak Prescott will not be a Cowboy next year because this is the easiest time right now. Looking at the other 3 teams, Dallas has the easiest time to win. And you're playing a Cleveland team who, it's hard to say how good they really are because of who they played. Yeah, Baltimore, they got smoked, but in the other 2 games they won easily. You know, they won pretty decently. They beat a Bengals team who, we don't know how good they are or how bad they are. And then you have a Washington team who, well, I just said, after week 1 doesn't know how to win. But we know I'm taking my Cowboys. Cowboys are favored by 4.5 points right now.
I got the Cowboys too.
And please, Dallas, please win. I do not need to hear The Miz
or Dolph Ziggler
or Jerry the King Lawler or a few of my friends on PSN who are Cleveland Brown fans. I do not need the Browns to win because I will never hear the end of it.
Or making fun of them, the Cowboys, right?
Yeah, but I will say this: if Browns make the playoffs, then it won't be as bad because everyone's predicting this is the year Cleveland makes it, just because Cleveland has been playing pretty well the last few weeks. But again, and by the way, for the first time since 2014, Cleveland has a record above 500. That's the most shocking thing of 2020.
Congratulations.
Could be the only time it happens, too. Hey, Mr. Jones. Yo, hope you're having a good day at work. Up next, we head to Detroit as the New Orleans Saints battle the Lions. Saints coming off another disappointing loss after playing so well in Week 1. The Lions getting the first W over Arizona. Mr. Jones says, wow, if Browns win over Cowboys, big upset. Could be. I know Stephen A. Smith would never shut up about it. Again, I think he needs to move that accident waiting to happen. I think that needs to go to a team down in Atlanta, which we'll get to that team later on in the video about the game. Currently, the Saints are favored by 4 points. I'm taking New Orleans. I think they bounce back. I think, with the injuries they've had, Drew Brees doesn't have his security blanket right now. I think Saints do bounce back, get a good, easy win over Detroit. But I do think if the Saints lose this, That'd be very shocking because then at that point it's Tampa Bay's division to win. Because I don't see Carolina really being a threat. Atlanta's definitely not a fucking threat. I'm sorry. I think me getting an STD is a better shot of actually happening before Atlanta actually becomes a threat in the NFL this season. So yeah, I'm taking the Saints.
I got the Saints against the Lions.
As a matter of fact, I'll even give you one better. The chances that Atlanta becomes a threat is the same chances we actually see Ryback and CM Punk come back to WWE.
Yeah, speaking of Ryback, did you see he trying to sue Ezekiel Elliott?
I did see he wants to sue Ezekiel Elliott, and I'm just like, Ryback, shut your ass the fuck down. No one gives a fuck about you, Ryback, no more.
No, if the Saints lose, it'd be like Otis winning the championship with the Money in the Bank. It's like impossible if the Saints
True.
lose to the Lions.
Mr. Jones says, I see Lions win as much as Bruce say he's got weapons. Bruce needs to sit. I actually got to pull this up because the damn thing in the corner does not like to agree with me when I'm reading. Bruce needs to sit, rethink everything. Okay, understood. And Ron has the Lions. Of course, if you're just tuning in, you can go back a bit and see all the picks and everything else I've already done. Up next, it is the winless Vikings against the winless Texans. That game is going to be on Fox, and that is Houston currently favored right now by 4.5 points. I'm taking the Texans here, guys. I'm sorry, Kirk Cousins is proven to be a sheep in wolf's clothing. He had a chance to win the game for the Vikings last week, didn't do it. He shows why you shouldn't overpay quarterbacks sometimes, because he got his money and he hasn't done shit with it since. Period. Texans win. Vikings, you're going to 0-4. Sorry about your damn luck, as James Storm would say.
I got the Texans over the Vikings.
Alright. Up next, okay. It's the Rams at home against the Giants. Do I even need to say who wins this, guys?
The Giants. Woo! I know the Rams.
I was gonna say, if you're picking the Giants, what crack are you on? We need to get you out of Syracuse. Fuck. Stop hanging around those crackheads in Syracuse. Mr. Jones says he's going with the Vikings. I kind of had a feeling you would, Mr. Jones. I'm taking the Rams here, guys. This, to me, this game's a joke. I'm sorry. You already heard me bitch about the division earlier that the Giants went. I'm sorry. Giants, too many injuries. The quarterback is still young. The coach is blah. So I got the Rams as well, and the Rams are favored by 12 points. That's the second game that we've seen that's favored by 12. The other one,
that's it? 12
yeah,
points? It'd be more than 12 points.
I agree.
Like
it should,
50.
yeah, I agree there as well. It should be 50. Moving on to the late games on Sunday. This is actually my game of the week. Bills on the road against the Raiders. Currently, right now, the Bills are favored by 3 points. Bills undefeated, looked very well. I should point out, by the way, a lot of people have said the Bills got lucky in that game against the Rams because of the call. To me, here's the thing. If they didn't call it, everyone would have been bitching Bills got cheated because the call wasn't made. So unfortunately, in the ref situation, to me, this is the one time I'll defend NFL refs. The refs were damned if they do, damned if they don't. Sorry. But getting back to the Bills and Raiders, very good, interesting matchup here. And this is why I said it's the game of the week in my eyes, personally. This is the one, I would say, go out of your way to watch. Out of all the games on Sunday, this would be the one I would recommend. I'm taking Buffalo here. If you saw me last year in picks, you knew I was high on the Buffalo Bills defense. And I'm still high on them now. But their quarterback's been playing very well these first 3 weeks of the season. Surprisingly, and I'm going to say this, if he keeps doing it, we may have to put the Buffalo Bills quarterback in the talk about MVP. And if that happens, I'm going to be looking out my side for media, because then it's going to be like, oh god, the Bills might actually make it to the Super Bowl and actually win for once. If this keeps up. But I'm taking Buffalo on the road against Oakland.
I got the Bills too.
Bills too. Up next, another good matchup. It's the Patriots with Cam Newton taking on Kansas City. Chiefs are favored by a touchdown right now. I'm taking Kansas City, guys. Kansas City just has too many weapons. I do think the Patriots, though, I do like the fact they have Cam Newton. I think that's been helping them. I think I think we found new life there, but I think Kansas City just has too many weapons offensively and defensively to try to stop. Chiefs
Did
win
you
this
hear?
one.
Did you hear about Patrick Mahomes having a baby?
I did hear that, so congratulations to Mahomes on having the announcement of his first child. Congratulations to him on that.
I got the Chiefs too.
Hopefully his
The Chiefs are. Sorry.
hopefully he puts a ring on that finger, else it ain't gonna end well.
Well, they got engaged.
Okay, so he was smart. He put a ring on it. Um, so good move, man. Good move there. I support that. Okay. I don't know how to talk about the last two games here, because, oh dear God, I don't really want to talk about them, because they're both fucking terrible. The first one is the Sunday night game, and this is the first time I'm going to say this. I am not watching Sunday night football unless the Eagles somehow keep it close. It is the 49ers at home against Philadelphia. Philadelphia doesn't know how to win a football game. San Francisco, yes, the Niners are banged up, but guess what? They're playing the Eagles.
And we won with backups.
And you won with backups last week against the Giants. 49ers are favored by 7 points. I think that's kind of a fair thing because Philadelphia's, between the injuries on the Niners and how bad Philly is, I think it kind of balances out. But I'm sorry. Niners win this one. If the Niners lose this, it would be the most fucking hilarious thing I've seen early in this season. But I don't see it happening. I'm sorry. 49ers ain't losing this. At all. If 49ers loses, I'm just going to shake my head. And I'm sure Dave's going to want to burn every jersey of the 49ers he has.
Yep.
And then we get to the Monday night game, which is so bad, I might actually have to watch Monday Night Raw. Does that tell you how bad this game is? It's the Packers at home against, well, a team who doesn't know how to win, a team who doesn't know how to lead in the fourth quarter, a team with the worst head coach in the league, a quarterback who's being misused, a running back who's proven not to be well, a team so bad and pathetic you realize that the Jets are not the worst team in the NFL, a team so bad that I think fans in Georgia are like, can we just have the Georgia Bulldogs replace the Atlanta Falcons? A team so bad that fans are actually writing petitions demanding that they just forfeit the rest of the season. And that, of course, is the Atlanta Falcons. Green Bay is currently favored right now, and I can't believe I'm going to say this. Green Bay's only favored by 7.5 points. That should be higher. It should way be fucking higher. Let's see. Mr. Jones says 49ers and Packers. Ron Johnson, my butt, Captain Ron, says those games suck. I agree.
I'm gonna be upset here. I have a gut. I've been having this feeling all day. I have a feeling Falcons actually gonna beat the Packers at home. I don't know why. I don't know. I'm not smoking no crack, but I have a gut feeling Falcons actually gonna beat Packers at home. I don't know. I have a gut feeling. But then again, I don't know because I don't know.
I'm gonna be honest here.
I'm gonna be upset. I'm picking
You're going with the upset
over the Packers.
I think this season the Atlanta Falcons are the accident waiting to happen because every time they've had a lead in the fourth quarter, they have found some way to blow it. They blew it against Dallas. They blew it against Chicago. And to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if Atlanta is leading, they somehow blow it again. Which I'm going to say this right now. If Atlanta blows it for the third week in a row, it won't be the chokers. I'm going to be honest here. I think if they do choke again or blow the lead, I think Falcons they'll be firing this is the next day. Mr. Jones says if Atlanta wins, I will sing "Stronger" by Britney Spears. You heard it here first. Yeah, I just don't trust Atlanta. I'm going to say this: if Atlanta loses this game or leads and then loses and Green Bay gets the comeback, I'm expecting people to be fired from Atlanta.
Yo, if the Falcons lose, no, the Falcons win. I don't know. If the Falcons lose, I pick the Packers. Pick the Falcons to win. If the Falcons lose, I'll wear me a Dallas Cowboy hat for a whole week.
That's actually interesting. Captain On says, hell, I'll sing Lady Gaga. if Atlanta wins.
Lady Gaga could sing though.
Um, so yeah, so those are the picks. Just as a quick recap before we look ahead into Week 5, I have Broncos, Panthers, Ravens, Steelers if they play this week. Bucks, Seahawks, Colts, Bengals on my upset of the week, Ravens on my lock of the week, Cowboys, Saints, Texans, Bills, Chiefs, Rams, Niners, and Packers getting a W this week. Looking ahead to week number 5. Thursday night game of week 5. It is the Buccaneers at Chicago Bears. We'll finally get a good Thursday night game after we get done with the train wreck that's tomorrow night.
Yep.
Yes, primetime game next Sunday as well.
Oh God.
Please God, NFL, if you please Roger Goodell, if you can hear this, for the love of Christ, please flex the schedule and remove this game from the Sunday night. The Vikings at Seattle.
What? They said switch Chargers and Saints to Sunday Night Football, and then put the, I don't know,
and then of course you have Chargers and Saints. Chargers and Saints, I think that'd be a good one. You know, won't be a bad game. But that Sunday night game, oh God, that's gonna be terrible. Suppose for your two late games, Colts and Browns will probably be the better one at 4:25. As far as for your early games on Sunday, week 5.
The Dolphins and 49ers. I don't know.
No, Dolphins and 49ers, they're the late. They got the late game. As far as for the best 1 o'clock game, looking at it right now in week 5. Yeah, that's the only good 1 o'clock game. Maybe the Broncos and Patriots. Maybe Bills and Titans. Yeah, that should be a good one. So we got a few good 1 o'clock games, but we have another shitty Sunday night game again. Fuck. 2 weeks in a row we get stuck with shitty Sunday night games. Fuck. Damn you, Cousins. But anyway, those are my picks for this week, guys. Let me know in the comment section below who you have. And don't forget the question of the video if you tuned in late. Who is the most shocking team at 3-0 right now? And who's the most disappointing team right now in the NFL? Me personally, I've already said the most shocking team is the Chicago Bears at 3-0. And the most disappointing team as well, Atlanta, because of how bad they've choked in back-to-back weeks. Let me know who you have in the comment section below. And until next week when I see you for week 5, this is the DOUG signing off saying thank you for watching. Please remember to hit that like and subscribe button if you enjoyed this, and share it with your friends so they can see my crazy ass antics. Of course, don't forget to check out Mr. Jones, aka the Shadow Wolf channel, as he does do TCW, and he also streams some Madden from one of the older Madden games. Don't forget to check out my buddy Dave as well, as he has a YouTube channel. He's been streaming the Madden as well, as he plays as the 49ers. And I might be back in a little bit to do the Cowboys against the Browns in my franchise mode as well. Okay, and before we go, we have one more comment. With how the Falcons have played this year, if the Browns were to only play the Falcons, the Browns could finally make it to the Super Bowl. And Mr. Jones says TCW tonight, Rush. Alright, so everybody remember that. Rush is tonight. Until then, have a good night. So long. Farewell. Feliz Navidad.